Okay, let's quickly test the sound. Do we have sound? Should have it. Give me just a minute. Okay, there is sound. All right. Minute was actually too long. So we can start apparently. My name is Hightech for those that don't know. These live streams I think about what just happened in the cryptocurrency market, what I think about it regarding 11 years of my experience in this space. And in the meantime, I try to explain what high-tech meme coin is. Here you see the mint address of it. It's a Solana meme coin. And on this, I actually got lost with what I wanted to say. So yeah, let's start. Let's start. Jesus is king, and let's go. Let's start. Let's start with what I wanted to discuss about today. Let's start recording. So yeah, I got distracted a little bit by some messages that I've got on the phone. Sorry for that. So yeah, guys, if you have any questions regarding what I've got to say here, you write it in the live chat here. Of course, on the horizontal version of the live stream, on vertical version of the live stream, it doesn't matter. As you see, I will be tracking both of them here. And I wanted to start this live stream from Rumble Studio, but for whatever reason, Rumble Studio is refusing to work. So I'm live streaming only on YouTube today. A little bit disappointing because with Rumble Studio I can always emit the same live stream to 5 different platforms. If it doesn't work, then it doesn't work. What can I do? So I told you so. That's the title of today's material of this live stream. I told you so. It will happen. I told you that the market will go higher. It was very unlikely from the very beginning that it was going lower. It's highly unlikely. And on top of it, when we go over to hourly candle, I just received entry signal, a buy signal here. So far, as you see, it's in a slight pullback, but that's perfectly fine. Usually it's like that whenever I receive a buy signal, there is at least a minor pullback occurring first before we go higher. But yeah, the odds now have increased significantly for this move up to continue. And nothing surprising here on my end. Why? Because this is the most bullish part of the year, right? In a year, generally, for cryptos. This part is literally the most bullish part in a year, right? So TradFi is also not disappointing. I mean, let's see actually how it's looking right now. What I've seen on tokenized version of SPY, it was pushing higher. So pre-market here should be higher too. Yeah, it is higher. So seems like we are going to see a new all-time high on S&P 500. Whatever is the cause, we are going the right direction. So that's super cool. Of course, it cannot be any kind of a problem for the crypto market. It should help. In the worst case scenario, it will do nothing. But yeah, hopefully it motivates our market to move somewhat more rapidly towards the upwards. I mean, move upwards as well, right? I think we will be opening within 1 hour from now. Am I right? 13:30, yeah, around 45 minutes. Around 45 minutes, 5 minutes. TradFi will open. So it's already looking good. It's already looking really good. And it's behaving the correct way, right? Because Jerome Powell already said they will be lowering interest rates even if inflation rises. So I don't think he left anything else to desire. Everybody and their mother know that staying in US dollar right now is like literally putting your money into ice cubes, melting away, and that's just not a good deal. So that's why yeah, people must look around and decide, where to transfer their capital so it does not disappear over time. Guys, if you have any questions, write me in the live chat. I'll try to respond to you, of course, to the best of my abilities. If I feel like I'm not qualified, I will just tell you I have no clue. I don't have really a good understanding of this or that, or I'll just give you my take, right? My take on it. So yeah, Bitcoin dominance is having a slight rebound. I mean, I really like how it closed yesterday on the daily, but today is having a little bit of a rebound. Let's see how it goes on later today. Because yeah, we can theoretically speaking we can continue this uptrend here, but I mean, so far this has been the longest series. I mean, not counting this deviation here, has been the longest series of red daily candles in a row. So I'm suspecting it should have enough of a merit to make this thing roll over. Well, of course, I could be wrong. We'll have to wait and see. But it makes sense. It definitely makes sense for Bitcoin dominance to start giving away finally. On crypto bubbles, when we switch over to crypto bubbles, we will see the mood is slightly mixed just yet, but I think it's going to clarify sometime later today. There's a few pumps happening here and there, like Fizz, for example, is pumping, DI is pumping. I have a position on both of them, Fizz and DI, even though I have no idea what those coins are, what are the respective narratives. I just don't know because it doesn't really matter. What matters is the chart. And DI is performing quite well. So when we go over to its chart, and I show you where my entry was. So it's at plus 62% in profit. That's cool. Fizz just has entered a position. I'm not sure how this one is doing for now. Yeah, so yeah, it's just opened here. Actually not. It opened where the line is, so slightly lower. So right now it's in a very, very tiny profit. We caught it a little bit too late, but fortunately, okay, there was a fake out. A little bit too late, but when we look at it in the big picture, we definitely cannot disagree that this coin potentially has a lot of room for growth here. You see how high it used to be in the past, whereas current entry. This one was giving away for a very, very long time. It's definitely very oversold, so with just a little bit of a good luck, I think it would kick off a sizable bull run on its own. And not only this one, because many different altcoins have a historical price chart that looks exactly like this, right? So I think you should be searching for charts that have exactly this shape. That it looks like, the thing is barely alive, right? It's just about to be dead, right? because markets like that are definitely very oversold especially when we combine it with what happened on Friday 10th, and that is what you should be going after. Everything that is extremely oversold, because market mechanics tells you that it should give you very advantageous position, very little resistance on sell side, and great ground to stand on if you're afraid of any further, let's say, escalation of a a downtrend. So yeah, win-lose ratio here is absolutely mad. It's madness. By the way, guys, if you have any questions, ask me in the live chat. Don't forget about that part of the show. That's the meat and potatoes of this channel, the interaction in between me and the viewers. That is literally the part that makes it much more fun for both sides. on my end, and probably on your end too, I imagine. That's what this channel, what distinguishes this channel from other channels. That's the main type of production I do here is live, so we can interact, right? So yeah, a little bit of a mix here, mixed feelings at first sight, but remember that we already pumped for last 2 days, so those are not really, let's say, reactivations of the downtrend. Is more like a slight bump on the road on the way up, and that's it, right? It's not like we have given away all of that growth we just had within the last couple of days. Absolutely not. We are just correcting a little bit, and that's it. And yeah, it will stay like that. This market is always like this, even in the strongest uptrends. This part is irremovable. Otherwise, it will be way too easy to trade it. And this is a zero-sum game. So there must be at least a little bit of fear introduction, of fear injection every once in a while, every few days, and this is exactly that. So yeah, I like what I see. I really like what I see. What I'm seeing here. Yeah, on the weekly, as you see, we are starting in green. On the daily, we are still in green. It's cool. Yesterday, I've seen quite a few posts on X that people were doubting legitimacy of those moves up that we had on Sunday. Today, everything will melt away, and as you see right now, the market is giving them what they believe, but it's just so it breaks their necks shortly after. So yeah, don't be surprised if you are trying to short this market. Really don't be surprised when your shorts will get blown out of the water. It's really risky to short this market now. Let's take a look at liquidation levels. Yeah, mostly shorts get liquidated. $125 million on Bitcoin, $87 million on Ethereum, and it will stay like this for quite a while to go. Let's take a look at liquidation heat map. Amadore Bolte says hello. Hi, Amadore. Nice to see you. If you have any questions, of course, write them in the live chat. Sorry for delay. Since I have these live chats here in opening tabs. So I don't have it actually displayed on my phone, so it gives me a little of delay before somebody writes anything and I take a notice. So yeah, liquidation heat map. Let's take a look. Here it is. So right now we have more liquidity below the price, but that could be spoofing. That's the difficult part about liquidation heat maps. That oftentimes, whatever you see here, it's a spoofed liquidity coming from market makers that want you to think the price will go one way and then they push it the other one, the other way around on spot market. So that's why you must be very, very careful if you want to use this as any sort of indicator. And that is why it is so rigged on future side of the market. That's why you should never trade the futures market, because it's way too easy to manipulate by the big guys. So yeah, as of now, even on greater context, greater time frame, as you see, more liquidity is below the price. But considering seasonality, considering let's say political context, geopolitical context, I'm keen to think this is actually spoofing. Mostly the real liquidity is above the price. So yeah, let's see how it plays out. Are we going to get any deeper pullback here? If not, then that will just only confirm what I'm saying here, right? That this is, as a matter of fact, spoofing, because this looks like the price will want to go down first. So people will be betting on shorts. Market makers will be pushing price up. In the meantime, scooping up the liquidity of the people that believe it cannot go higher because there is much more liquidity sitting beneath. So a classical example of market manipulation. That is literally how it goes every single time. And yeah, avoid that. Just stay on spot market, on the spot market, and you'll be much better off. So yeah, let's take a look how crypto fear and greed index looks like today. 42. So we are back to, is it back to neutral? Yeah, it is. It's actually written here. Altcoin season index at 28, so this one is only slightly higher, so that I like to see. We will not know anything about ETF's net flows until tomorrow, because it's Monday today. So, and these are always lagging 24 hours. These two as well, even though it's not as apparent as on this chart. So remember, but this one, yeah, this one comes from Friday. So on Friday we had slight negative overall, minus $3 million overall, Ethereum and Bitcoin combined. But not that much. $3 million for this market is literally nothing. Could very well be plus $3 million instead of minus, and that wouldn't pose much of a difference. Guys, don't forget about subscribing to the channel, or just give it a like. If you don't want to subscribe to the channel, just give it a like. That will do too. That will give it a little bit more of visibility. So yeah, right now on Bitcoin chart, we don't really have any like very visible bullish structure, and that could be slightly tricky. Was the most bullish in this picture? Sorry, it's not what I wanted to paint here. What's the most bullish here right now is that we remain in this price cluster, right here, and its lower boundary rests on support coming from here, and actually even coming from here. So that's the bullish part, right? In the big picture, because this structure right here, you cannot on its own, you cannot really tell much about it just yet. It will probably transform into something a little bit more legible later on, but right now it's like a little bit chaotic. So I understand if anybody gets confused by what you actually should expect from this. But whenever you look at this image, the big one, the situation becomes much more apparent. And yeah, we definitely have a setup for higher prices here. As I tend to repeat, I will be very surprised if Bitcoin does not reach 150K this very year. I think it should be well within the possibilities of within the capacity of Bitcoin to achieve it till in 2025. In 2026, even if you have to wait until 2026, then I think it's actually a sure bet. But having said so, I don't really think you should be betting big on Bitcoin because, since we can say with great of certainty that will happen, I think it's much better to actually look around among altcoins and search for a good entry in that market rather than in a Bitcoin market. So here, okay, on altcoins, on the other hand, today, as you see, so far is printing red, but just very little, very little, and we can flip it practically any moment because it's minus 1.23 right now, so we can convert into green in 5 minutes from here. There's nothing set in stone, absolutely not. So yeah, be very careful if anybody is trying to convince you to short the altcoin market. Pumps plus 100% are very common here, so even if you use leverage X1 and you short the market, unfortunately you have way too decent chance to get completely liquidated, even if you use stop losses, because remember, exchanges do not guarantee stop losses to work. And that is because of how it is all programmed. There is an order of things. If many people bet on stop loss around one price vicinity, then before euro gets triggered, it could be very well way too late. So that's why it's actually quite risky. And that's a thing that practically nobody talks about. Why? Because most of crypto influencers, and they sell you their ref links, right? I mean, they offer you their ref links to derivatives exchanges, so they don't want you to know of any downsides, additional downsides beyond those that are commonly known, because you will not use them ref link then, right? In my case, well, I have a completely other model for monetization, so yeah, I will definitely not be. You will never see me offering any ref links, right? In my case, I offer you to join the market I promote, which is high tech meme coin. And if you throw anything at this one here, it means all of my social media activity is to pump your back, right? So that's here we earn money together, not like I I set up traps so you get caught sooner or later, right? Nobody's lying here to you. about anything. So that's a completely different approach. Economically speaking, we have the same we have the same vector of how do you say it, um, I'm missing a word. Of advantages, let's say. Yeah. Not the word I wanted to use, but I just completely forgot the one. It escaped me. The one I wanted to put here. All right, let's take a look maybe on my X timeline. Let's see what has happened so far today in the news space about crypto inside an aging world. An aging world could make Bitcoin as valuable as gold by 2100. I don't think Bitcoin will last until 2100. I will be very positively surprised, of course, if it lasts for another 10 years. Which to many will sound very pessimistic. I think that's actually quite optimistic version of events. Why? Because I know how difficult it is for Bitcoin to reform at current size. It's actually very slow to reform. That's why it is very likely something will overcome it before it reforms in time, right? Breaking strategy buys another 390 Bitcoin. Yeah, Michael Saylor was signaling it yesterday that they are just about to buy more, and yeah, they kept their word as they usually do. CryptoGoose, Tomly thinks that their fair value of it is 12k to 22k. Okay, yeah, 12k is possible. It all depends on how aggressively US dollar will be devaluating. That's the most difficult moving part in the scheme. That makes all calculations way more difficult than if it was fixed. While you are scared that Mysterious well bought $356 million worth of Bitcoin. That's massive. That's 11 hours ago. Yeah, there was one guy that bought quite a hefty amount of Bitcoins. Guys, share, like, and subscribe. Don't forget about subscribing to the channel. If you've got any questions, write them in the live chat. I'll give you my take on the topic. And know that this is the format of this channel. I do live streams only. I do not produce any edited content aside from shorts, of course, but shorts will be just fragments of this live stream, just for visibility's sake, just so you know people are aware of existence of this channel, and that's it. The meat and potatoes of this channel is live streams, right? A live contact, the possibility of reaching out in real time, and to get advice, to get some insight from someone who has 11 years of experience in this space and have seen practically all of it already. So yeah, Eric Trump just gave an epic rant on why Bitcoin will replace the current financial system. It's happening. So this is some kind of a new podcast with Eric Trump. Yeah, Eric Trump does a good job, to be honest. Marketing wise, yeah, I cannot throw at him anything that would stick. It's just doing a good job. Even though initially when he said when he advised to people to buy Ethereum, it went heavily down. But a couple of months after, it not only recovered, but also it went to all-time highs. So that gave like plus 50% profit, I guess, since the moment he recommended it. So at the end of the day, not that bad. But me, when we were at 15 or 1600s per Ethereum, I was already telling you guys, don't worry, we will still go to all-time highs, because that's the way crypto market works. It's just volatile. I mean, Ethereum has little to nothing to offer anymore to the crypto space, but it still has a huge name, and people are not very well oriented how far behind it already is. So it will still go to all-time highs and way beyond, because Ethereum spot ETFs, they still don't have staking approved, and that will be the main motor, the main engine that will be making it going. And this is literally exactly what I predicted. And I told you that in April when Ethereum was at 15, in between 15 and 1600s USD. So that's why it is worth to subscribe to this channel. It is worth to pay attention to what I've got to say, because once in a while I will give you really, really good advice. How is the connection going? Everything is going well, yeah. All right. Dusty BC Crypto. Breaking, October is back in the green as the markets bounce hard to start the week. Yeah, we are back in the green. I see someone subscribed to the channel. That's super cool. So we are at 105 subscribers as of now. Breaking. Kyrgyzstan is launching national stablecoin on BNB chain. I think that one we've seen on my last live stream. And yeah, be ready for more of it. There will be more states launching their own stablecoins pegged to their national currencies. That's a very good thing to be taking place, because we will see a very aggressive competition in between stablecoins. We want to see it, because actually the only area in which stablecoins can compete is, let's say, no regulation. Little to no regulation. How light regulatory wise a stablecoin is. That's the only dimension where they can compete. After investing $30 a day for 8 years, $86,370 has grown to 1 million in Bitcoin. So yeah, DCA. But $30 a day is, in most places of the globe, is actually a lot of money, believe me or not. In the whole India, $30 alone is a lot of money. In most of Africa, $30 alone is shitloads of money. The vast part of Asia too, China, Russia, it's not really that little. Bitcoin has escaped the fear zone for the first time since the crash. So you see on the version of Crypto Fear and Greed Index I look at, we're at 42, and at alternative.me is at 51, so it's much higher. But yeah, the one I discuss is the version on CoinMarketCap. I think it's much more reliable. Nasrim Khan Hess says hi. Okay. Like I said, if you have any questions regarding the crypto market, then go ahead. Switzerland MP just announced plans to establish a strategic Bitcoin reserve. Here we go. Yeah, this strategic reserve narrative has a lot of room to go. That's why I speculate on this market being really, really far away from the real top. I'm very sure we will not see the top this year, and that, let's say, conviction is growing in me also more and more, and it becomes stronger and stronger that we may not see it even throughout 2026, the real top. I start to believe more and more it will actually come maybe to 2027. I think we are up for a crazy ride here. Justin, former PayPal president, just said Bitcoin will eventually process trillions of dollars every single day. Bitcoin is the new financial system. In its current form, it can do that only through Lightning Network, and Lightning Network is far from perfection. The base layer is very, very slow. Just 7 transactions per second. To have a fair comparison, Visa is generating around 4,000 per second, 4,000 transactions per second. So 7, that does not serve the world at all. Boris, Japan has launched its first yen-backed stablecoin. You see, another stablecoin. Stablecoins will rule this space quite soon, but that's good. That's very good. That gives a stable source of revenue to blockchains. That makes adoptions much wider. That crashes all of the walls in between the traditional system and altcoin sphere, and that's why it's quite easy. It's really quite easy to see it coming. What will happen to the altcoin market? It will explode like never before, like we have never seen. Because of this, there is nothing more bullish than TradFi and legacy financial system coming over to blockchain space, issuing their stablecoins, making stablecoins widely adopted. There is nothing more bullish than that, believe me. Bitcoin strategic reserve is literally nothing against this. Trader with 100% win rate adds more longs. He's now playing a $360 million leveraged long with 1,683 Bitcoin at 13x. That's a lot. That's a very, very risky leverage. And 40,305 Ethereum at 5x. Okay, that one is a little bit more conservative, but still, I wouldn't even trade it with leverage times 2. So, yeah, never copy guys like this one, because that could be spoofing too. It's very easy to spoof these markets on dexes. You know, they could be running an account like this with 100% win rate, just so you start to believe, okay, you finally get a pattern, you finally have a source of inside knowledge, and at some point you will try to copy a guy like this, and he will get completely obliterated, and you together with him, and it will turn out it was all a setup. It was all planned from the beginning. It was all a trap. The Bitcoin historian. Okay, this one we already have seen. UK's Clearbank joins Circle to allow European users access to stablecoin payment like USDC and EURC. You see? You see what I'm talking about? I think within like 2 years, at most within 2 years, stablecoins will be accepted all over the Europe, all over United States, and you will have literally a payment option in your local supermarket to pay in stablecoins for your groceries. That will happen in at most 2 years. I mean, and 2 years, within 2 years, I'm talking about widespread adoption. I'm not talking about here and there. In 2 years, it will become mainstream. That I don't know. In the United States, you will go to Target, and you will be paying in stablecoins. In Europe, you will go to Lidl or Aldi, and you will be paying in stablecoins for your groceries. That level of adoption. I mean here. Breaking the Bitcoin fear and greed index just left fear territory for the first time. Yeah, okay, so this one we've seen already. Guys, if you have any questions, of course, ask me in the live chat. That's first, and share, like, and subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I live stream every single day, or at least I try. I don't remember when last time I skipped a live stream. That does not happen very often. So, whatever happens in the crypto market, you can join my live stream and ask me what do I think. I have 11 years of experience here. So I literally have seen everything in this space already. I've committed all of the mistakes that were to commit. And I started from the ground up. So I was not a very wealthy individual when I started in the crypto space. So yeah, I'm able to give you all sort of advice here. What you should be doing, what approach you should be taking, what will work best for you. And another layer of let's say wisdom I have against a typical popular crypto influencer is that I come from Western countries, rich Western country, and lived in third world countries too. So I know both sides of the coin. I have awareness of how it looks in the richest countries and how you should invest, and how it looks in the poorest countries and how you should invest. And that is something that I don't know if any of other crypto influencers, that's an insight that I don't know if any of other crypto influencers can actually give you. So in that regard, I'm very, very unique. Justin, crypto market cap reclaims $4 trillion. Rumors: President Trump may pardon FTX founder SBF this year. That would be very weird if he does that. To be honest, I don't think Trump should pardon SBF. That wouldn't be a good move. Huge. India's High Court declares that crypto is property. New wave coming in. I don't know what does it change from taxing perspective. To be honest, that could be very disadvantageous from tax code side. Let me actually ask Grok. What it changes from tax code perspective. Let's see. Because this space is very quick to cheat on when actually bad things happen. Because they don't think about long-lasting consequences of certain regulatory decisions. They don't care for the little guy. They care only for institutional adoption. So let's see. Okay. Under India law, describing it as an intangible asset that can be owned, possessed, enjoyed, and held in trust. Current tax regime for cryptocurrencies. Prior to this judgment, cryptocurrencies were already governed by specific VDA provisions introduced in the Finance Act. Income from transfer tax at a flat 30% on profits, no deductions allowed except for the cost of acquisitions, no indexation benefit. 30%, my God. Tax deducted at source, 1% TDS on transfers exceeding 50,000 rupees. I don't know how much that is. No speculative treatment. Gains are treated as income from other sources rather than business income from speculation, avoiding the stricter rules for speculative trades. Key clarification and indirect implications. Affirmation of taxable status. By equating crypto to property, the court strengthens its legitimacy as a taxable asset under the Income Tax Act, potentially easing enforcement in audits, disputes, or attachments. This explicitly debunks any argument that crypto trades are speculative, preserving the current 30% flat tax without exposing them to the more punitive speculative business income rules. Okay, so it still stays at 30%. That's crazy. 30%? Are you insane? What the hell? Broader ripple effect. Inheritance and wealth tax. As property, crypto holdings could more readily factor into estate planning, succession duties, or wealth tax assessment. Yeah, so it seems like that will give the government more tools to tax it even more. Insolvency and trusts enhances protections for crypto in bankruptcy proceeding or trust, which may indirectly affect how tax authorities value and levy on such assets during liquidation or transfers. In summary, the ruling bolsters the foundation for India's tax-first, regulate later approach to crypto without altering rates, deductions, or filing requirements. Investors should continue complying with existing VDA rules, but this precedent may reduce litigation risks in tax disputes over asset ownership. For personalized advice, consult the tax blah blah blah. Okay, so it's just a regulatory clarity. It doesn't really changes anything in current taxation, let's say, dimension. It's very, very heavily taxed in India, from what I can tell. It's definitely not an easy business. If you want to be a trader there, probably you should move over to Thailand, where there is zero taxation on income tax coming from crypto trading. It's not that far from India. Solana co-founder Anatoly Yukovenko challenges the claim that L2s inherit Ethereum security, calling it erroneous. Yeah, of course they do not inherit Ethereum security. I mean, how? Every single layer 2, unfortunately, is not trustless. There is no layer 2 that is fully trustless. Breaking. Binance just pumped millions into Bitcoin and Ethereum to liquidate shorts. That's Wimar.x. That's not Binance, that's Binance users. Parabolic blow up top, that's the tweet. Okay. Yeah, so we are far from it. It will happen. Don't get fooled. Bitcoin will still see a huge sell-off after it reaches the top. It will still not get rid of that juicy volatility, but we are still nowhere close to it happening. and Fourier cycle is going to dumpster. You can pretty much forget about Fourier cycle from today. Look on chain. After a month of silence, sharpening bought another 19,261 Ethereum. Yeah, they keep buying. That was 12 hours ago. They keep buying. First sell-offs we will probably see when staking gets approved on Ethereum ETFs, because that's the main motor as of now that fuels up Ethereum's appreciation. Q4 is extremely bullish. Yeah, Q4 is pretty much every single year it does something positive, at least something positive. Even if, let's say, November ends in a sell-off, or December gives us very, very sharp corrections, or end of the cycle, Q4 overall gives many, many opportunities to make a very decent money. I'm calling it now, new all-time high Bitcoin this week. Write it down. Oh yeah, that one is easy. That one is easy. This is what I've been telling you guys for so long. Don't bet on Bitcoin going heavily down from here. Don't bet on Bitcoin reaching cycle top this year. those will get you in a listening to that kind of narratives will get you in a really bad place in months to come. Okay, so I see the visibility is not that bad today. 50 views so far, 52 views so far, so that's cool. I'm happy. I mean, the goal is always to reach 100, but sometimes it gets so slow, I just give up, somewhere in the middle. Here, let's switch over to Bitcoin chart, because why not? Let's see how things are going there. And the altcoin market, it's more or less as when we left it. Yeah, keeps pushing up. I mean, I have no idea what that is, but it is doing something. I don't trade it, that's for sure. And Zcash is also pushing up heavily. Bitwise analyst warns investors to be cautious with Bitcoin stock to flow model despite it forecasting 222K for this cycle. Yeah, stock to flow model is highly nothing, no guarantee how Bitcoin will behave, how Bitcoin will perform, because it assumes that the demand on Bitcoin will remain constant, will remain the same, and that's, I think, the biggest mistake you can make, because Bitcoin demand is definitely not constant. Stivoshi, link goes to 1700s to 2500s range in the next 12 months. Highly unlikely. I mean, consider that Chainlink, as of now, has quite a lot of competition, and a good competition. Back in the day, it was the only Oracle coin, and now there is a bunch of other coins that do literally the same, maybe even better, and cheaper. So I'll be very, very careful with price targets like the one he suggests. That does not mean it will not happen, because God knows that there's more factors going into that sort of event, that sort of scenario. Like, for example, mainly speaking, the awareness, how aware people are that Chainlink is not alone in that space, in that area, in that niche. many people could think that only chaining does that. Only chaining is blockchain oracle and nothing else, and that could spark a huge speculative bubble on Chainlink. Tanaka, Tanaka Anselm Pereira. That sounds Indian and Brazilian at the same time. China just surrendered 48 hours. $3 trillion gone. Treasury Secretary Besen China is ready to make a deal. Translation: Beijing capitulated in 48 hours. The 100% tariff dies November 1st, but China paid a price that will echo for centuries. What just happened? Okay, so he explains more or less what geopolitical consequences it would have. But as you already heard, November the 1st, 100% tariff dies. I think that's the most important part. So again, we have all of the points checked on checklist required for fourth quarter to be amazingly bullish. Don't short this market now. That's very silly. Just turn off whoever has been bearish for last month. You can easily unsubscribe them, because you should already realize they do not give you good advice, right? Because whenever Bitcoin does something like this, they activate and they scream from the bottom of their lungs, "You see, I told you." You see, I told you, but they do not take into account what just happened throughout previous few days, right? So yeah, don't get trapped into somebody's narrative that is, as you see, totally completely false. Yeah, share, like, and subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you watch it live. I live stream like this every single day. I'm ready to answer to your questions if you've got any, of course. And yeah, this makes this channel much more interesting, much more interactive. This is not a static content. I never prepare, for before I live stream. I don't really know what I will be talking about. It's all 100% live, 100% organic. Bitcoin just hit its 200th daily close above 100K. Yeah, it's been 200 days. That's cool. Like, Bitcoin is holding 100K price. All right, CRG. You see, I told my taxi driver I was in crypto. He said he was too. He then advised me to sell everything because the 4-year cycle is over. You know what that means. When a taxi driver is advising you to buy or sell, you do exactly the opposite. We didn't buy Bitcoin to get rich. We bought it because we are done being robbed. Yeah, that is literally the reason why most of the people got involved in crypto, because they had a very bad experience with their own money with banking system. That was the case with me, for example, back in 2015. I was refused to get payment processing for my business, and that pissed me off so much. I started to search for any other way of getting a payment processing, and I learned about Bitcoin. And that was the beginning. The beginning of a long journey and a very deep rabbit hole. James Wynn, nobody wants to hear this, but ETH will flip Bitcoin, understand? Nah, highly likely not. ETH will die. ETH will pump now, yes, I admit that. I preach that. I preach that since it went down to 1500s. I preach, don't worry, it will still make all-time high and it will go much higher. And that has happened. But the second part of my prophecy is later, after it is over the hill, it will slowly decline into zero. And in 10, 15, 20 years, nobody will even remember about it. It will be a thing of the past. Ethereum internet. So Solana should be an Ethereum L2. No, Solana is hundreds of times faster than Ethereum on layer 1. Alex Becker. Alts are oversold and literally buying anything right now is going to print being booty thing mama gains. A good one. You've been warned, and I'm going to call you funny slurs later this year for ignoring me. The problem with Alex Becker is that he has been calling this for well over a year. He has been writing exactly the same, so that's why it's very easy to get fooled. Avatar says, are we talking crypto here? Yes, we are talking crypto. Avatar, this is a crypto channel, so we definitely are. So yeah, the problem with mainstream is they usually keep telling you exactly the same. They rarely change record, and that is why at some point you will get tired of it because you will be listening to them and you will keep losing. But you must understand their standpoint, right? Because if they tell you, listen, for the next year nothing's going to happen, those things, they'll be just going lower and lower. Will you still watch them? No. Will they get any revenue from ads? No. So the incentive here is clear, right? They will never tell you the truth. They will be telling you whatever happens, you should be buying, you should be watching, you should be staying in touch. And the only place where you will get first-hand information is here. The Swiss stablecoin market cap added $129 billion in the last 7 days. I wonder what stablecoins are adding that much there. Let's take a look. Maybe Grok will tell us. Guys, share, like, and subscribe. Don't forget about it. Give me a like. Give me a like. That helps with the visibility of this channel. Subscribe so we don't lose it. I live stream every single day, so we can discuss what happened in this space here whenever you feel like it. I actually live stream twice a day. Nowadays, I live stream twice a day. Not only every single day, twice a day. Let's see. The figure appears to be a typographical error for 129 million, as confirmed by the chat. Okay, not billion, million. Okay. All right. But billion sounds much better, of course. So debunked. It has been debunked by Grok. Grok does not confirm it. Okay, that's a good one. These cameras are evolving. Instead of Microsoft is RN Microsoft. Microsoft. That's a good one. Because you can definitely, with the screen of slightly lower resolution, you can definitely misread it. Good one, good one. Halloween is near. Okay, let's keep this one. This is a meme. Rex shares. Rex Osprey XRP ETF passes $100 million AUM in under a month. Yeah, so as you see, XRP already got its ETF, but I don't know if that's spot ETF or any other type of ETF. So yeah. Okay, guys, allow me to wrap it up for now. Share, like, and subscribe. Don't forget to throw something at high tech, since this is the only project I promote here. Hence, it translates to like a stock market of this YouTube channel and all of my social media, because on all of my social media, that's the only project I promote. So whatever advertisers come to my channel, they'll be directed here. I will tell them, listen, if you want me to talk about however on your, about your service, you have to come here, buy it up, and burn it, and then that grants you exposure on my media, on my channel, right? So you can invest in it. You can literally invest in it at very early stage. Just 63 holders so far. So the upside potential here is absolutely stupid, and you can go with something very small, very tiny, and I think it will still do the job way more than you imagine. Like it already happened to some people that invested at $1, right? Because this meme coin was starting at $1, and right now $142, right? So out of $1 investment, it was already possible to make 142 right here, right? Trusting in what I say, in what I have to offer, risking $1. So who else has done something like this on the whole internet? I don't think there was many people, or if there was any at all. So yeah. So again, share, like, and subscribe. Thank you for your time, guys. I see you sometime later.